our prayer request list, and then I had a couple that was called in to me this morning, so we'll add them. Ronnie Wanda Payne, Betty Walker, Carol Epperson, Daniel Smith, Louise Atkins, Pauline Johnson. That's the one that, oh, never mind, different name, different Pete. Ruben Vasquez, Joe Nelson, Maybell Nelson, Curtis Nelson, Philomeno Benella, Wendy, Jerry and Bonnie Shropshire, Ted Taplin, Lee Atkins, Mike Atkins, Dale Drew, Ronnie and Christy Davis. We have Ronnie back with us. God give him safe trial and grace this past week. Coy Pepinos, Justin Pepinos, Thurman Potts, Pauline Webster, Ricky Allen, Peggy Ordner, Mike Donathan, Eric Norman, Sandra Walker, Jamie Davis, Daniel, Patsy Quisenberry, Esther Haynes, Hannah Blevins, Mike Gravely, Dana, Jesse Dawson, Larry Norman, Mike Walker, and Mike Walker is going in for appendix surgery. I believe she said this morning. Just pray for him that God guide the doctor's hands. Dana Childress, Billy Avonlea Mitten. Heard anything else about it? So they're going to do a test tomorrow to see if the cancer's gone. I'm going to trust that God's got his hand on it. Mary Williamson, Barbara Hutchins, Shania Atkins, Clinton Quisenberry, Logan, all the churches. I don't care if it's the Catholic Church. We need to pray for them too. Amen. I don't care if it's Jehovah's Witness. We got to pray for them too. Pray that the light gets turned on. Got Randy Parrish. Got the lost. We always need to be praying for the lost, especially lost in our family, because let's face it, we know the lost in our family better than we do the lost out here in the community. Got Betty Hudson. She used to come to church here till she got to where she couldn't get around good. She wanted to be added to the prayer request list. And Ronnie is going to the hot doctor Thursday. We just pray that the doctors can take care of him. He has leaking valves in his heart. I believe that was all I was given. Polly Johnson family. Yeah, thank you. She has passed away, so just pray for that family. She lived out here beside of Turkey Ford Baptist Church. Any other outspoken requests this morning? Any others? Anybody uplift his hand? All those that can with us, get on this altar and put some use on it. supposed to have been last Sunday. Back to Nehemiah. I have to say it was probably God's intention. I have to agree with you there because I got a post-it note stuck to the page right there in the book of Nehemiah. If you didn't catch me last Sunday, I would teach the Sunday before about Nehemiah and building the wall. Well, last Sunday, I got my Nehemiahs and my Jeremiahs mixed up. Should have been going to Nehemiah chapter 4. Well, I went to Jeremiah chapter 4 last Sunday. I read all the way through chapter 4, and I started sweating a little bit. Because in my mind, it was supposed to have been talking about the wall and building it. I didn't see nothing in there about the wall. I said, I got through chapter 4, started into 5, and I said, anybody got anything? I said, brothers, y'all got to help me. But it was God's intention, I believe. In fact, I want to jump over Jeremiah just for one verse. And I guarantee the preacher already knows where I'm going. Jeremiah chapter 4, and y'all don't have to go there. And it's verse 3. For thus saith the Lord to the men of Judah and Jerusalem, break up your fallow ground and sow not among the thorns. That's basically what all of last Sunday was about, was that one verse right there. Amen. The Bible tells us about sowing amongst thorns when the crop grows up. So does the thorns and the thistles, and it chokes the life out of the crops. But I just want to go back and read that. But we're going into Nehemiah chapter 4. And I should have known I was in the wrong place when I started reading, and I didn't get this name right here, Sanballat. Chapter 4, verse 1. But it came to pass that when Sanballat heard that we builded the wall, he was wroth and took great indignation and mocked the Jews. We see on news and everything today how Christians, preachers, witnesses standing on street corners trying to tell people about Jesus, and these other people that just lost to sin getting in their face, calling them every name they can think of. They're mocking them, trying to make fun of them. Imagine these men getting ready to build, they're already working on building the wall, and you got adversaries that comes up against you. Sanballat, he heard that we builded the wall. He was wroth and took great indignation and mocked the Jews. Verse 2, and he spake before his brethren and the army of Samaria and said, what do these feeble Jews? Will they fortify themselves? Will they sacrifice? Will they make an end in a day? Will they revive the stories of the heaps of the rubbish which are burned? Now, Tobiah, that's about the best I can say that. Tobiah. That sounds better. Now, Tobiah, the Amorite, was by him, and he said, even that which they build is a fox going up, he shall even break down their stone walls. Loose translation in verse 3, he's saying the walls are so feeble and weak that even a fox could run through it. So I'll read it again. Now Tobiah the Amorite was by him and said, even that which they build if a fox go up, he shall even break down their stone wall. Anytime a man's trying to do something for God, there's going to be people that comes up and tries to tear it down.
Amen.
I know I've said it, and y'all probably getting tired of hearing it, but I'm just going to keep saying it. Ray always said, if for every man that God calls, the devil would call 5 to tear him down. In some cases, he might call 10, he might call 100, but the devil's going to stand as an adversary against that man of God. We have to pray for our men of God. Our men of God. Tongue tied up with teeth. Especially when the adversary starts trying to tear them down. And I know we've all seen it. We've seen it recently, and we've just prayed about it. The man of God has put it in God's hand, and God is taking care of it.
Amen.
In our lives, and I'm guilty of it, when something comes along and I ask God to help me with it, I try to help God with it too. God is working things out the way he sees fit, and we try to put our 2 cents worth in there and say, well, let's try it this way. Sometimes God just says, hey, you need to pay attention. I got this. Verse 4. Hear, O God, for we are despised, and turn their reproach upon their own head, and give them for a prey in the land of captivity. And cover not their iniquity, let not their sin be blotted out from before thee, for they have provoked thee to anger before the builders. So built we the wall, and all the wall was joined together unto the half thereof, for the people had a mind to work.
Amen.
That's a lot. That one verse right there talks about a lot of people in church today. People sit in that pew and they say, man, I wished I could see God doing something. You ever stop to think maybe he wants you to be the one he works through? Or you sit there and you say, man, I wish God could do this. Well, he might be wanting you to get up, take a part in it. You can get a blessing out of it if you just come out here and pick cigarette butts up out of the parking lot. Whatever you do for God, to glorify God, that's where it's at. Then you don't come back in here and say, I picked up every cigarette butt out there today. I done it for the Lord. No, when you come in here telling you done it for the Lord, you've done it for yourself, and you just wanted to get your reward right there and then. I've got rewards laid up in heaven that I won't tell people about because I don't want to tarnish that reward I have in heaven. There's been situations where I have been caught doing something for God, and they told about it, but I didn't brag about it. Still don't. All right, verse. Pick up in verse 6. So, yeah. So build we the wall, and all the wall was joined, I didn't read that, together unto half thereof, for the people had a mind to build, or a mind to work. Yeah. Because that's where I said we have to have a mind to work. We can't be part-time workers either. I put an ad out in the paper several years ago, and I probably need to go up there and just do it again. But I put an ad out in the Help Wanted section of the newspaper. I said, part-time Christians want to apply at any local church. benefits are paid by the amount of time you put into it. Full-time positions are available.
Amen. That's good.
All right, verse 7. But it came to pass that when Sanballat and Tobiah and the Arabians and the Amorites and the Ashdodites heard that the walls of Jerusalem were made up and that the breaches began to be stopped, then they were very wroth and conspired all of them to gather to come and to fight against Jerusalem and to hinder it. Nevertheless, we made our prayer unto our God, and set a watch against them day and night because of them. Now, that doesn't mean they stopped the work to keep the watch. Somebody give me an illustration. It may have been Danny. Talking about the building of the wall. While one man was doing the work, one man stood behind him with his back to him, watching out for him. Because if we stop what we're doing to stand guard, then nothing gets done. But if we as children of God will join together and watch each other's back, we'll get more done. Verse 8, and conspired all of them to gather to come and to fight against Jerusalem and to hinder it. Nevertheless, we made our prayer unto our God and set a watch against them day and night because of them. And Judah said, the strength of the bearers and burdens is decayed, and there is much rubbish, so that we are not able to build the wall. And our adversaries said, they shall not know neither see till we come in the midst among them and slay them and cause the work to cease. And it came to pass that when the Jews which dwelt by them came and said unto us 10 times, from all places whence ye shall return unto us, they will be upon you. Therefore said I, in the lower places behind the wall, and on the highest places, I even set the people after their families, with their swords, their spears, and their bows. And I took and rose up, and said unto the nobles, and the rulers, and to the rest of the people, be not ye afraid of them. Remember the Lord, which is great and terrible, and fight for your brethren, your sons and your daughters, your wives and your houses. And it came to pass, when our enemies heard that it was known unto us, and God had brought their counsel to naught, that we returned all of us to the wall, every one unto his work. And it came to pass that time forth that the half of my servants wrought in the work, and the other half of them held both the spear and the shields and the bows. And what is that word? Habergeons? Sounds good. And the rulers were behind all the house of Judah. Then which build on the wall, and they that bear burdens, with those that laid every one with one of his hands wrought in the work, and with the other
builders, every one had his sword girded by his side, and so builded, and he that sounded the trumpet was by me. And I said unto the nobles, and to the rulers, and to the rest of the people, the work is great and large, and we are separated upon the wall, one far from another. In what place, therefore, ye hear the sound of the trumpet, resort ye thither unto us. Our God shall fight for us. So we labored in the work, and half of them held the spears from the rising of the morning till the stars appeared. Likewise at the same time said I unto the people, let every one with his servant lodge within Jerusalem, that in the night they may be guarded to us and labor on the day. So neither I nor my brethren, nor my servants, nor my men of the guard which followed me, none of us put off our clothes, saving that every one put them off for washing. Chapter 4, they're building a wall. They're standing guard against the adversaries and doing the work at the same time. They have a man that's doing work. They have a man that's watching guard. We have a man that stands behind this pulpit. We have people out here that stand guard. We should not be relying on the man that stands behind this pulpit to be the one that goes out beyond them doors and does the work too. Sorry, didn't go. Like I said, we can't expect the pastor to be the one that does it all. And we've had some people in here that have actually taken the step. Christy right there. She invited her neighbor to come to the chicken stew we had here at church. So the woman got to experience Christian people, godly people. I pray we were all godly. And I pray we all welcomed her. That is my goal in life, at church especially. When somebody new comes in, I make it a point to get over and shake their hand. I want them to feel at home.
Yes.
I want the person that comes into this church to feel like they just came up to the door of my house and I welcomed them in. That's how welcoming we should be. We shouldn't be looking at someone because their clothes are tattered or their clothes are too fancy. And say, well, I can't go welcome that person. What if that person's lost? And just by you welcoming them into the house of God, they let their guard down. They get at peace. They listen to the man that's standing up here. God starts using his word, pulling the heartstrings, gets that person to the altar. Would you want to say that you was the one, you was the reason that person didn't go to the altar because you didn't want to welcome them into the house of God? So that in itself is the reason I try to welcome everybody. Now, can we get along with everybody? We try our best, but we can't please all the people. We can please some. How's that? We can please some of the people some of the time, but we can't please all the people any of the time. But we still have to love them. We have to let them know that we still love them. There is work to be done today.
Bible tells us about the fields being white for harvest, but the laborers are few. Like I said, we can't expect the preacher to be the one doing the laboring, and we just sit by and watch it. Like that little saying goes, I ain't afraid of work. I can sit and watch it all day long. I'd like getting up off that chair and helping that preacher. In fact, go ahead of him. If he's talking to somebody, tell him about the Lord, get that other guy. Take an initiative. Get out there and do the work for the Lord. I'll tell y'all a little story back when we used to knock on doors. We went to this one apartment complex over here in Dobson. We went through knocking on doors, and me and another man went and knocked on this one door. He opened the door. We hadn't even got the word track out of our mouths yet. He slammed the door in our face. I mean, didn't shut it. He just turned around and slammed it. About 2 or 3 weeks later, we was back over there. Preston went with us this time, and he was only about 10 years old. I walked over with him. I handed him a tract. I said, go knock on that door. He went over and knocked on that door, and that same man opened the door up. He had a hopeless door in his hand. Preston just said, I just wanted to give you a tract and invite you to church. That's all Preston said. The man looked down at him. Instead of slamming the door in his face, he took the tract and said, I've been dealing with some problems. As soon as I can get straightened out health-wise, I'll try to get in church. And I'm not telling that story just to lift myself up, because that's not a treasure I laid up in heaven to keep for myself. That's one that y'all need to know about too, because you could be the one that person won't slam the door in your face. There's people that you can talk to that I can't. There's people that I can talk to that you can't. Take, for instance, Larry right here. 74 years old. I'm 57. There might be some people out here that won't listen to Larry because of his age. But because I'm a little bit closer to their age, they might listen to me. Might listen to Danny. He's a little bit younger. He's still spring chicken. But age ain't all, don't have all to do with it. But I'm just trying to get the point across that some people will listen to others before they will you. Or some people will listen to you before they will others. Especially your neighbors, if they see you trying to live a godly life at home, out in your front yard, where they can see you, instead of fussing and hollering and cursing, you just out there glorifying God and keeping to yourself and just being happy.
Amen.
Your neighbors see that, they're going to want that same kind of feeling. They're going to say, I want what he's got. I'm over here struggling just to get by, and that man, I know he's got less than me, but he's happy. We have to be happy in the Lord. We have to do God's work. We have to take a part in building the wall. One man cannot build the wall. It takes all of us. I'm going to go into chapter 5 because it's going, time is slow and I'm going quick. All right. Chapter 5 starts off, and there was a great cry of the people and of their wives against their brethren, the Jews. For there were that said, we are sons, and our daughters are many. Therefore we take up corn for them, that we may eat and live. Some also there were that said, we have mortgaged our lands, vineyards and houses, that we might buy corn because of the dearth. Give me the definition of dearth, Larry. What is dearth? What is dearth? Right there. Yeah. Famine. No, the dearth. The last word in verse 3 there. It's famine. That's fine. There were also that said, we have borrowed money for the king's tribute, that upon our lands and vineyards. Yet now our flesh is at the flesh of our brethren, for our children as their children, and lo, we bring into bondage our sons and daughters to be servants, and some of our daughters are brought into bondage already. Neither is it in our power to redeem them, for other men have our lands and vineyards. And I was very angry when I heard their cry and these words. Then I consulted with myself, and I rebuked the nobles and the rulers, and said unto them, Ye exact usury every one of his brother. And I set a great assembly against them. And I said unto them, We after our abilities have redeemed our brethren the Jews, and were sold unto the heathen, and we ye even sell your brethren, or shall they be sold unto us? Then held they their peace, and found nothing to answer. Verse 6 through 8. We see a brother in church or a sister in church struggling. We should do what we can to help them out without expecting something in return. Verse 6 through 8 talks about helping somebody, but they're using it as a means of profit. They're what they call usury. Just think about it. You're helping somebody out today. There may come a time that person could be able to help you in your lowest point. And you can't say, well, I'm good right now. I got all I need. There is always something going to come up that's going to take what you have, especially if you're not glorifying God. You may need to count on that one person. So we don't help somebody and expect something in return. That's where you're laying your treasures up in heaven at. Verse 9. Also I said, it is not good that ye do ought ye not to walk in the fear of our God, because of the reproach of the heathen or enemies. I likewise and my brethren and my servants might exact of them money and corn. I pray you, let us leave off this usury. Restore, I pray you, to them even this day their lands, their vineyards, their olive yards, and their houses, also their 100th part of the money and of the corn, the wine and the oil, that ye exact of them. Then said they, We will restore them, and will require nothing of them, so will we do as thou sayest. Then I called the priest, and took an oath of them, that they should do accordingly to this promise. Also I shook my lap, and said, So God shake out every man from his house and from his labor, that performeth not this promise. Even thus be he shaken out and emptied. And all the congregation said, Amen, and praised the Lord, and the people did according to this promise. Moreover, from the time that I was appointed to be their governor in the land of Judah, from the 20th year even unto the 32nd year of Artaxerxes, the king that is 12 years, I and my brethren have not eaten the bread of the governor. But for the former governors that had been before me were chargeable unto the people, and had taken of them bread and wine, beside 40 shekels of silver. Yea, even their servants bare rule over the people, but so did not I, because of the fear of God. That's why I keep saying we should not be doing any work for God and expect God to repay us. We should go out free willingly. God will reward you, but don't be going out expecting the reward.
Any work that we do now, from a true heart for God, any work that we do for Him, He would pay us what we do.
Yes, He did.
Because He would pay us for the work He did on us. Jesus died.
That's right. Jesus laid His life down for every one of us.
Amen.
He looked at how we were living our lives, and He did it anyway. So when you say, well, if I do this, the Lord will reward me for doing it. Yeah, but you got to think. You got your reward before you done the work. Especially when you accepted Him into your heart as your Lord and Savior. I'm going to hold off there for now, and I will pick back up next Sunday. Give you another break. I'll give you another break. I'll pick up from right there next Sunday. Larry, will you dismiss us?
Having grace